Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter speaking a little earlier to Heidi Giokos. Let's bring Heidi in now. Heidi, really interesting to hear what Andre de Ruyter is saying about trying to protect the infrastructure around power stations and some really innovative plans by the sound of things. But of course, you've also been at the Energy Indaba again today, where this issue has actually come centre stage. A lot of people are talking about what to do. You've also been speaking to David Tembe, the Community Safety MEC, among others.
Yes, Sally, it's actually quite shocking, and I think many South Africans were quite aware of the sabotage that's been going on at Eskom, but I think it was further highlighted by the CEO, Andre de Ruyter, that a lot of the reasons why we are subjected to load shedding in the past couple of weeks has got to do with sabotage. You would wonder why anybody would want to sabotage our power stations and subject the country into complete darkness, but this is the reality, and it's something that Eskom is constantly dealing with. You have 3 senior managers that are entrusted by Eskom that are part and parcel of the sabotage that's ongoing. This is why they have now been subjected to further investigations. This is something that's also been brought into sharp focus by the Energy Indaba, where you have the city of Johannesburg saying our infrastructure is aging, and the fact that copper cables are constantly being stolen, this is causing a massive strain on the system here in the city of Johannesburg. You have security guard after security guard being appointed at these various substations across the city, but that doesn't seem to be helping the situation at all. Either these security guards, the sad reality is they get killed, or they gets attacked, and you have 10 people storming a substation to steal the copper cables. So what we've understood from the MMC of Community Safety here in the city of Johannesburg, David Tembe, he's indicated that there will be more boots on the ground, and they are going to create a new unit that will probably kick off in the next 2 weeks that are going to target the massive problem of copper theft. They're going to be in and around the city trying to deal with this, and hopefully that will provide some kind of support and relief, and also send a strong message to criminals that there are more eyes and ears on the ground, there are more boots on the ground, and it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to move into these substations and kill and steal rather millions of rands worth of copper. Let's listen to what David Tembe had to say about that.
That we establish a special unit that will be JMPD and SAPS that will deal with these issues. I've got 200 officers that will be working with SAPS under Brigadier Joseph, so that they can have one command, so that they will do nothing else except dealing with this issue of cable theft. It doesn't cost the city anything, because these officers that we are going to deploy have been trained by SAPS at Tabazimbi as part of crowd management. So they are fit officers, they know what they're doing, and working with SAPS, they have got that synergy that they can work very well with them.
And Heidi, did you get a sense today of how much it is costing to repair vandalized electricity infrastructure?
Sally, in the last 5 years, it's 190 million rand that just the city of Johannesburg has had to pay or had to account to in terms of how much copper is actually being stolen, and that's still counting. The City Power CEO indicated to us today that it's very difficult for them to ascertain, because sometimes they don't even know where copper has been stolen, and it happens so frequently lately that they are still trying to basically count and tally up how much this is actually costing the city of Johannesburg. But the problem is massive, and today's discussion included, for example, the head of Hawks in Gauteng, the provincial head of Hawks in Gauteng, Major General Ibrahim, who indicated that they are trying their very best to work with police and to establish a unit where they will also be able to clamp down on this massive copper theft problem. The CEO of City Power also told us that it's not not only copper cables that are being stolen now, it's also aluminium cables that are being stolen, as well as fuses. Parts of Lenasia's substations have been subjected to aluminium cable theft as well as fuses. This is a huge problem because they storm into these substations, as I mentioned earlier on. It's 10 to 15 men at a time. They attack the security guard, they steal copper cables and whatever else they are able to get their hands on. Huge cost to the city, and at the end of the day, it's residents and households and businesses that have to sit in complete darkness for sometimes days, if not weeks on end, because it takes the city some time to repair, to set up proper processes to make sure it doesn't happen again. But also, you need to have that money on standby to be able to repair the constant theft. We got a chance to speak to the CEO of City Power. Let's listen to what she said.
The last 5 years, and we did spend about 190 million rands just to replace the cables that were stolen. And that's not really the full figure, because that's just talking about what we could ascertain and pass through to the insurance side of things. So it is a very big cost at the moment, and it's not just cables that are getting stolen. We've got fuses that are now getting stolen, and traditionally we all thought is copper, but right now if you go to our Lenasia area, it's aluminium cables that are being stolen as well. We are quite pleased that the National Security Cluster has come on board and is really taking this very seriously, and we are participating in that. Because as you'll appreciate, our core mandate is to provide electricity, to serve our customers. We are not the police, we are not the law enforcement. So we are leaving that in their capable hands, and we are participating in that, and they're guiding us in terms of what needs to happen. And they're going into also the root cause of some of our substation fires as well, to determine what really happened there. Because, for example, when we were at our Lenasia El Dorado substation that burned down, as our guys were busy with repairs on the very same day, somebody was trying to torch a mini sub down the road. So we do have these challenges.
So much money because people are stealing and sabotaging electricity infrastructure. It's an absolutely appalling situation. Let's hope those drones and all those security plans do bear fruit soon. Thank you so much for that update. Our reporter, Heidi Giokos.